we asked through Twitter and through Facebook to Cheggsters around the country what's on their mind. And for obvious reasons, the questions all surrounded the same thing, which is when you're a student today, right? So if you can start off right, you know, a lot of parents think if I had started off not giving my kids ice cream and sugar, they wouldn't have a craving for it now. So there's a lot of kids or students who have responded back and said, look, I'm about to graduate. I have $40,000 in debt. What should I do? What's the smartest thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
And
in student loan debt.
In student loan debt, and they're coming out. It's literally like indentured servitude.
You betcha.
Right.
Here's what I would tell you. Anybody in this room still have student loan debt? Please raise your hands. Seriously. Right. And are any of your student loans in deferment or forbearance? Yeah, raise your hands. I have the one that is willing to say yes, and all the others are, but they're just too embarrassed to say, so whatever. Right? Is yours in deferment?
James?
No. I'm good. I just made my last $700 payment. I'm good.
So one of the biggest mistakes you will ever make in life is to be in deferment or forbearance, or especially in default with a student loan. The advice that I would give you with a student loan is that is the one loan that you should pay before you pay any other debt or bill that you have. You know how people say pay yourself first? No, pay your student loan first. Why? Student loans in most cases are not dischargeable against bankruptcy. So you will be stuck with the student loan for the rest of your life, essentially. The student loan companies are the only creditors out there that do not call you to say, pay me, pay me, pay me. Once they allow you to go into deferment, what other creditor allows you not to pay your bill? You're late on your credit card for 2 months, they start calling you every single day. They want their money. But student loan companies allow you and give you legal permission to defer and defer and defer. Why do you think they do that? Because they know it isn't dischargeable in bankruptcy, and they can make more money on their money that they lent you by it compounding than if you paid it off. Because many of you are at a higher interest rate than the current interest rates of student loans that are going out. So they want you to be in trouble so that once it gets to $100,000 or $200,000, then they contact you, then they can garnish your wages, they can garnish your Social Security check, and they could do whatever. So when you have fear about a student loan and you don't know how you're going to pay it, it's because you think you don't have to pay it. If you simply paid it by one of the techniques, they give you 4 different ways to pay a student loan. If you just simply paid it, that fear would go away, and then it's the other stuff that you would then cut back on, and your life would work for you. But you just don't have enough money to pay your student loans because you still want to go out to eat, you still want to go to the movies, you still want to do this, you still want to do that, and at the end, then there's no money for the student loan. Pay your student loan first. What I would tell people, though, before they go to college, because you don't want to get somebody that really had this desire to become a columnist in New York City, or a reporter or work in the publishing industry there, where they're going to get $28,000 a year. And the cost of New York is $2,000 for a 600 square foot apartment. And so we don't have a realistic viewpoint for these kids, and it would be wonderful if we could actually create this, where you know, you say you want to go to school, and you going to school in this area. So depending on where you want to live, this is what that job will pay you. The sad part is, kids always say to me, well, Suze, I'm going to be making $80,000 a year, so I'll be able to afford the student loan payment. They don't understand that they're not bringing home $80,000 a year. They're bringing home $40,000 a year after income tax, their 401k contribution, their FICA, and so forth. So we should do that calculation for them. Take the remaining $40,000 after taxes, divide that by 12 for them, because they don't know how to do this. And from that figure, take what rent in that area is, their car payment if they're going to have a car, food, entertainment, and all the things that they're going to have to pay for, and that leaves them X amount of money that they get to put towards a student loan. Then we do the calculation for them that $300 left or $100 left at the end of the month means the most you can take out in a student loan is this much money. And if they can't pay that, they better think twice about going to a school that's too expensive for them. Then they know they should go to community college, and we should give them recommendations. And we should just tell them to check it up and do it. Right? But that is what we need to provide for them, because it's too late already, Dan, if they're in $150,000 of student loan debt to pay, to get a job. Did any of you see the PBS special I did?
I did.
Yeah, of course you did, you're my fan.
Just reading the entire thing.
Yeah, so, and in the end of the PBS special,